No, you gotta stay. You stay. Oh, it's crazy people. Hey, you are big rude. All right, so what's going on right now is we're just starting to see the first evidence of our animals coming into breeding season. And that means we have to add additional security because we do not intend to have pups right now. And so that includes a couple of things I got to do here. The first one is I'm taking a couple of these panels to add an extra airlock between the portions of the habitat that are separate. I got to get the one with the gate in it first. So I'm pulling that down. And then I got a fence post I've got to replace because I noticed one was looking a little weak, and these guys are big, strong animals, and so the last thing I want is for any of them to break a fence. So that's fun. All right. So, and yeah, I don't have hired help, so I do all of this heavy lifting myself. These aren't too bad. They just weigh about, I don't know, 50 or 60 pounds, maybe a little more. So you'll notice as I come in here that I have an airlock right here. So everything we do that has exterior has an airlock just so that I can open one gate and close another just to be sure that nobody goes in a place I don't want. This is a little tight. Come on, cooperate. All right. And you'll see the reason why we use these airlocks is because these guys, they don't really want to get out. They're really happy where they are. But I don't want to be in the newspaper because an animal's out. So let's see if I can tilt this and get this thing through here. It's going to go sideways here. I am currently nursing, ouch, a cracked rib. I got taken out the other day. So on top of everything else, I'm a little minor handicapped. All right. And observing my work here, I've got 3 of the animals. I've got, so that's Nunaryak. We call him Noonie. He's our rescue from this year. He's just 8 months old now. And then we got our sisters here, Sunny on the left and Mooney on the right. Their real names are Sikanik and Takik, which is sun and moon in Inuktitut. And Nunaryak, we call him Noonie. And his name means earth or of the land. And he's going over to say hi to our neighbor, Mark. What's up, Mark? I'm doing well. Doing a little fence work because Mooney is coming into season. Oh, yeah. It's going to be interesting for a few months. Oh, Tanya wanted me to thank Julie for the cranberry spread. That stuff was yummy. I'll come say hey later. I'm in the middle of hauling crud. So for those of you that haven't been on my channel before here, we're the Tahoe Wolf Center. We're a 501c3 that teaches people about wolves and advocates for their recovery. And so we have 5 ambassador animals plus a Malamute on the property. This is the one that's in season all of a sudden, Mooney. She's a little ahead of schedule. And so there's a video in my channel a little further down, if you dig a little bit, called How Do You manage everything when everyone's got a loaded gun. And by that, I mean our animals are reproductively capable. We keep them that way because we have valuable genetics, but also because I'm a student of their behavior. And when you alter them, that alters their behavior in ways that change the dynamics of the family group. And since I'm maintaining an intact family group, I want to maintain those behaviors, but that adds tremendous amount of complexity to what we do. Now, Noonie is a boy also, but Noonie is a puppy still. And so he's not quite ready to reproduce, although by the time we get into mid to late January, the girls will be completely separated from the boys. My best case scenario is that the girls get along and the boys get along, and I just have to keep two distinct groups. My worst case scenario is no one gets along, and that means I got to keep everybody apart, which adds a lot more work for me. And right now I'm just figuring out the arrangement of this additional protection here. And looks like I'm going to have to reverse the clamp on this one. We have thousands of dollars of these panels. It's not cheap to maintain all the stuff we need in order to be sure that everything we want to do is done professionally and correctly. And there are very few facilities that do what I do, which is to have these animals that are potentially reproductive, because most people don't want to deal with the challenges associated with such a project. But my focus is pretty unique because it's not merely to advocate for the animals, but to also gain a much deeper understanding of the animals by living really right with them. I mean, this is my house. So I'm inside the habitat. I have to run a gauntlet to get through. So you'll see a couple things here just about our habitat. Everything is ground wired. It's also electrified to separate the fences in the event of this time of year, breeding season, so we don't have animals decide to try to get lucky through the fence. Hi, Mooney. She's a little curious about what's going on here with these materials. All right, so what I'm gonna do, and forgive me, I know there's probably comments, but I've got this thing strapped on my chest here. It's a new experiment to see if I can't live stream while I'm working, because I know people were a little curious about that. Did I just flip this? I did. Okay, it's not the right way I want it. So what I want, what is going on here? Oh, it is the way I want, but not the way I want. I see. Okay. So what I'm gonna do, and of course I have a giant stack of my firewood. I heat my house with wood. And so what I'm gonna do here is we're gonna secure this to this. Are you still thinking this through for a second here? I have to reverse it, I think. I get to reverse the panels. Time to get some, it's tool time. It's nearly tool time, huh, girls? All right, and last, I want the hard panel there, the swinging panel here. No, okay, here we go. So, here's the plan. This is the plan. The plan is going to be to set this up. I'm going to have to move a little bit of material to get this exactly how I want. Maybe-ish. It's close. It's very close. All right. So, yeah, for those just tuning in, this is Oliver the Wolf Guy, Tahoe Wolf Center. We're adding some additional separation right now because we're coming into breeding season. And so that means animals get spicier with each other. And so we have to be careful about avoiding any conflicts. And then even another concern, which is we don't want puppies. That's not in our plan for the time being. And so what's going on here is I'm adding an airlock between the two sections of the habitat so that if I open one gate, I still have control. Double gate systems are standard operating procedure for what we do. Hi, Noonie. This is Noonie. And so in order to set this up, I've got to do a couple of adjustments here. Then after that, I've got to run a little hot wire on the other side of the habitat. Why are people don't realize, it's like, while I'm trying to do this, he's trying to eat the glove off my hand. I'm going to periodically try to look and see if I can see comments, but this thing is strapped to my chest so I can work. I just thought I'd bring people out to join me while I'm doing some of this so you can see what the daily life is like for somebody whose principal activity is taking care of some very intense primitive animals. And it's not a lifestyle for the not rugged individual. On a daily basis, I move hundreds or thousands of pounds of material. I just did a whole video about how much work it takes to heat your house with wood. I move around 70,000 pounds of wood by hand a year by the time I'm done felling, bucking, splitting, hauling, stacking, drying, restacking, and burning. It's definitely a lifestyle. I like my lifestyle, but it's definitely not the easiest lifestyle. You got to be willing to be dirty. You got to be willing to be tired. You got to be willing to be wet. You got to be willing to get chewed up a little bit once in a while when things go terribly wrong. All right. So just clearing out a little bit of this. This is my wood splitting area here. It's got a lot of bark. All right. So move that over there. And just sort of thinking this through here. Tool time. Hi, Athena. Hi, Shani. So yeah, like I said, I'll periodically try to like pop the phone forward so I can just get a glimpse at the comments. And all right. So that's going to go there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use big heavy pipe clamps just to wrap it and set it like that. And that'll be secured there. And then, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? And then, if I get this the way I want it, this is the door. Okay. So let me just let you rest it like that. And we're going to live with it just like that. Okay. So I got to reverse some clamps. And then this is going to support it over here. And these are temporary, right? So I don't live with these things here because my animals, for the most part, can be together, just not in breeding season. Because Mooney is spicy. We call Mooney a secret bitchy pants because Mooney acts all demure. When I got Mooney, she told me, I'm nice. I'm the cutest, nicest one. She was tiny. And then all of a sudden, it turned out that she was, a friend of mine refers to her as Mooney Badger, the angry weasel. She punches way above her weight. And yeah, she's a little spicy. So last year, so wolves typically don't go into heat their first year. It's unusual, but if they're very, very healthy, very well fed, then they can. And so both girls, Sunny and Mooney, started going into heat last year. They had kind of a unusual early heat. Mooney had a full heat. Sunny started to go into heat, but Mooney dominated Sunny sufficiently that, and this is what happens in the wild, is that in wolf family groups with animals, multiple animals of breeding age, the breeding female will typically dominate the other females and they go out of heat so that there's only one reproductive event. Now in very large wolf packs in the wild where there's plentiful food, it is possible to have multiple breeding pairs in a family group. That's how you end up with some of the very large packs that you see, like, hi, Noonie, in Yellowstone in particular, where especially early in the reintroduction, game was plentiful. There's a couple of packs that have had multiple litters in the same year recently. The Junction Buttes, I believe, have. I think the Wapiti Lake family group also did. But in captivity where they would have these interactions, a lot of times we just separate the females because they start really fighting. We are prepared to deal with that if it happens, but I'd prefer to keep them together if I can. So, hi, Moon. So yeah, all right, so that is situated how I want for a moment, and I'm going to go get the tools there. But the next things, I'm going to go over here to the other side of the habitat. And we've had, I don't know if you can see it there, we had a moving blanket get stolen in the night. They're thieves. They have blankets in a few spots to lay on, and every once in a while they'll pull a blanket out and destroy it. You'll notice that we struggle. We've been trying to get these apple trees to go for years, but the wolves keep eating them. That's why they're all chewed apart. So this year we got serious and we wrapped them in their own habitats. And they talk about a landscape of fear. My trees live in a landscape of fear, but it didn't seem to deter them from killing the trees. All right, and so then the next thing which I'm going to do here is I'm going to run electrical on the entire section. This is the other side of the habitat fence. See, my house is in the middle of the habitat here. And then the large section of habitat, this is about 15 to maybe 20% of the total space available. And I typically like to keep my animals in this area at night. The camera coverage makes it easier to spot them. Everything has camera coverage, but that big habitat, they can be under a bush or in a shadow and make it hard to find. So it's easier for me to just get an eye on them. Plus, it's less rugged here. It's easy to get out a door and check on things. But once we get into this time of year where everyone has to be separated, some of the animals the boys are going to end up over on the backside. And so the two things I'm going to do today are I'm going to just run electrified all along the front of this to keep them from messing with the fence or each other through the fence, because they can get into fence fights and they could also breed through a fence. And then after that, I've got a fence post I want to change out up on the top there. So a lot of steps involved here. This is going to be a bitch. This thing weighs like 100 pounds. I had this here because they were tearing up my wife's garden through the fence, and I didn't want to run electrical, but I'm going to end up having it. All right. Maybe I'm going to let's just see how this goes here. If you just tuned in, I'm also nursing an injury. I managed to crack a rib the other day. And so I'm a little bit uncomfortable doing some of this stuff where it puts stress on my rib cage. All right. Damn, this thing is heavy. When you do, my rib cage, you like that at all. When you do all this kind of stuff on your own, you got to get really good at using leverage to move stuff, because you got to figure out how to move heavy objects using smart strategy. So this is gonna, I don't want you to do that yet. It's funny, I'm 5'11", I weigh about 160, 165, depending upon how much snow I've been shoveling. And so a lot of stuff I move weighs more than me. And for those that are curious, I'm 57. I was a pro athlete, a bike racer and a skier. Still ski a lot. Don't ride a bike anymore. I mostly go hiking with my animals is my big pastime and passion. That's what I do. And so what I'm doing now is we like to have some Adirondack chairs. They're chew toys, but they're also, we can sit out with the animals when we have guests over. Oh, hi, Cooey. And for those of you that don't know my animals, this is a Kutak. She's my matriarch, 13 and a half years old. She's the boss. This whole alpha wolf idea is a mistake. There is no killing each other to get to the top of the pecking order. Wolf families form just like human families. Mom and dad meet early in life, decide they like each other, find a good place to make a home, have puppies, raise puppies. And so then the female is the most important animal. The breeding female is the animal that is really the decision maker in the family group. They are critical. In fact, current research shows, and this is such a tragic statistic, it echoes research I did about 10 years ago, actually, that when a breeding female is killed by humans, whether it's shot or run over or trapped or whatever, that roughly 74% of the time, the whole family breaks up. Like the females are the glue that holds the wolf family together. And she really is. It's amazing. Like, even if the girls get bickery with each other, they're still respectful of her. And the males, even my 160-pound male, Icknick, who's out here in the back somewhere, when she gives him a spanking, he looks like he saw God. It's so funny. They're just amazing how that works. So we're just going to get this out of the way. There's a bunch of different steps of prep. Well, yeah, this is kind of what my day looks like here. Oh, take it easy. Thanks. I'm trying to peek at these every once in a while here. Yeah, I'm used to working injured. If you're an athlete, a pro athlete, you kind of live injured. This isn't a bad one. It's just like, I don't know if I cracked a rib or if I partially dislocated a little cartilage that sits between the ribs. If I couldn't breathe, I wouldn't be doing it, but I can breathe, so I know it's not poking anything. It's just uncomfortable. And this is probably the worst thing I got to do. Well, I got to haul a couple 100 pounds of concrete up the hill to reset a post, but that'll happen next. And one more move, and you are situated for a minute here. Okay. Whew. Now I'll take a pause here and I'll have a look at some comments real quick. All right. View message. Oh, somebody wants my wolves to lick me. Well, if they want to greet me, they'll greet me. Let me see here. Hey, Noonie. Here, I'll flip the camera around. You can see me for a second. Noonie. Hi, Noonie. Oh, this is Noonie. Oh, he's kind of a rough kisser. There's a lot of teeth. Hi, Sonny. Do you give me a kiss? So this is, a lot of people get grossed out by that, but that's how wolves greet each other. They lick each other's teeth. That is the familial, intimate greeting. It's, hi, how you doing? What you got your nose in? What have you been eating? I want to check it out. And so that's what that looks like. No, the old female does not go into heat. She's beyond reproductive age. But interestingly, her genetics are so rare on the planet now that we have already made arrangements with a company that does cloning. They've cloned a couple of wolves in the past, and we're going to take samples from her the next time she goes in for a checkup so that we have the genetics in the bank. And that way, for whatever reason, we decide we want to reproduce her, we can do it like that. And here's an interesting fact here. What we're planning on doing. So wolves only go into season once a year, and the males are only generating sperm when the females are in heat. Like during the summer, they have these little tiny peanuttles, I call them. And then like this time of year, Icknick's nuts are like eggs. They're bigger than the man's. And their attitude changes too, because obviously with that increased sperm production, there's a concurrent increase in testosterone, and they can get a little edgy. But what we're planning on doing, so this year, now that we're getting into that season, we are going to capture Icknick's sperm, and then we'll put that into a genetic bank. And then we'll get him a vasectomy. And so he will, after this year, be able to just be with Mooney the whole season, which will make him happy and Mooney happy. They won't be able to have puppies unless we inseminate Mooney ourselves for breeding. But he'll retain all of his male characteristics and his behaviors and be able to copulate with her, which is really, really important to us. And then the following year, we'll also do Nunaryak the same way. And that way we won't have the risk of having reproductive events. And if we're lucky, everyone will be able to stay together after that, because they won't be competing so much because they'll be paired up. At least that's the hope. We hope for the best. We plan for the worst. That's how we do what we do here. Is you have to be anticipating all the time. Like, if you're not thinking ahead, you're falling behind. And if you're falling behind, bad things happen. If you watch my videos, you'll see everything we do is on a set of standard operating procedures. There's zero deviation from those procedures for the stuff that we do. I mean, for example, fence repair, like the minute we notice a deficiency in any aspect of our habitat, it's immediately addressed. It means if it's at midnight in a blizzard, I'm out here with a shovel and a headlamp. Do not steal my glove. I'm gonna growl you, Noonie. That's how you do it. He's gonna steal my glove. I gotta growl him. All right, so let's see here. We've got several of the steps done. Before I can go do the fence on the back habitat there, I got to move animals around again. But let me complete a few things here. All right, so I'm gonna get a couple tools, and this might be dark here for a second. I got to think through what I need here. My little fencing area. No, you cannot come out here right now. My Malamute is not happy. She's not getting along with Mooney. Right, this is Mooney. And you stay. I'm right here. So this is our little mud room and tool room. Hi. Yeah, Wolf. All right, and so what I got to do now is grab a couple of pieces of equipment here for the fencing. I'm going to put the phone back on the chesty here. And let me see here what I need. Got my trusty spool of wire. That's a key component. Hi. I really wish I think I'm out of the... I'm thinking here. I have these eyelets I really like to use for the fencing, but I think I might be out of those. Let me take a peek. So I live with a lot of fencing material. We just always want to have backups on top of backups. But I don't think... See, I always have a ton of these. Oops, sorry. Here. These guys here. She's going to help me open my packages. I can just feel it. That's what she does. All right. We're looking in the fencing supplies, and I know I don't have enough of those. I do not. Okay, so there's always a plan B. Plan C is just to order them fast delivery and finish that part of the job tomorrow. That may be what I do, just because I like how those work better than any other solution. And today's not an emergency. We're just getting ahead of it. So we just noticed Mooney spotting today. It was the first time. And so we know we got a minute. Stuff. All right, so we're going to finish the wiring tomorrow. And today, all right, I guess the next thing is starting to move supplies for the fence post. Yep. Okay. This all happened this morning. Mooney's early. Ordinarily, our animals don't start showing signs of this until mid to late January. But for whatever reason, we caught her early this year. And so, hi. Because we're early, we're going to have to buy a few other pieces of materials, I think. Let me go look at what else. All right. You have to stay. Okay, so realistically, the fence post is the bigger emergency. So let me grab a post. Hi, Noonie. And Always got extra supplies. If I really had to, I could make do without the these. See these things up here? That's what I'm looking for. I like those things for screwing in for my temporary hot wire lines. But I had repaired this and used all of them. That's why I'm out. So I could always go to Tractor Supply. They have those there. That might be I might make a run. Let me think about it a little bit. And for those of you that don't live in bear country, you'll notice that this big green box here, this is how you keep the bears from getting in your garbage. So all your trash goes in these big boxes here. And then you have to lock them when there's trash because the bears know how to open them. Like it's amazing. Bears are so smart. They'll run around checking every single car door and breaking into cars. It's just unbelievable. So I work a lot with bears also. There's a organization up here called the Bear League. I'm on the board of the Bear League and I'm a volunteer. Bears get under houses because they want to hibernate in a nice, cozy, temperature-controlled environment. And so underneath an unoccupied vacation home is an awesome spot to be a bear in the winter, as long as nobody disturbs you. And so we get people who show up at their house and they're like, there's weird noises coming from under my house. And they poke their head in the crawl space and they're looking head on at a black bear. And then they call us and we'll get under there and try to nicely ask the bear to find another place for the winter. And here's an interesting fact. If they don't figure that out before a female has cubs, then the state does not allow you to move the bear because it puts the cubs at risk. And so then you get the interesting experience of having a bear as a roommate for an entire winter. And a few times our organization has got cameras under there just to watch the mother bear birth the cubs and care for them. And it's really remarkable. Animals are such amazing parents. Like, human beings don't have anything on the love and care and protection and nurturing of their young. All mammals, particularly some of these more sophisticated mammals like wolves, like bears, like coyotes, are amazing parents. They're just amazing parents. I love watching how animals care for their offspring. So I'm on the outside of the habitat fence here. This is Icknick. He's my big male. This will be his 6th winter. He's 5 years and 7 months. Hi, Icknick. He's a black phase animal, and they phase out. They go kind of gray. So I tell you, when people say, Oliver, you're going gray, I say, no, I'm not. I'm phasing out. I'm not going gray. I'm just phasing out so I can be handsome like my Icknick. Man, I think. So we're using 10-foot pressure treated. I think this is the one that worries me. No, it's not that. Is it this one? One of these worries me. Yeah, it's this one here. So sometimes they rot off at the ground. And so what I'm going to do is see if I can entice Icknick into the front habitat for a minute. And he's not going to like this new. Always complications. He's not going to like the new airlock until he's experienced it a few times. So it may be tough to coax him in. But I still got a few trips up the hill. I got to bring a sledge, a shovel, a ratchet, screwdriver. There's a bunch of different pieces I got to take apart here. So I got to take off the electrified on the post and preserve the screws. And then I've got to disconnect the posts from the ornamental iron and preserve those screws. And then I've got to bust out the old post and the concrete footer and dig a fresh hole. And then I've got to pour the concrete and bring water up the hill to saturate the quickset. And then once that's there and leveled, then I got to put everything back together. I can do that in about 45 minutes, but it's going to be interesting to get Icknick to move, I think. He's not going to want to. And I don't bust open the fence without, well, okay. So what I think I might do, we'll just see here. Hey, for those of you tuning in, I'll just say I'm Oliver the Wolf Guy. We're a 501c3, the Tahoe Wolf Center. We do education and advocacy, and we work with these ambassador animals to help the public understand more about the true nature of their wild relatives. This is Sunny here. This is Noonie. And I am just doing my fence repair. And we're well known in our community. People are really cool to us. But you have to say, the caveat is people are cool to you if you're perfect. Like, you cannot afford to make mistakes when you do what I'm doing. You know, people don't like it. All right, so let's see. What I'm gonna do first is get that set like that. And then that's probably the least invasive. If I can just get Icknick to move. Icknick, you want to come see your girlfriends? No, everyone wants to go the wrong direction, of course. Hey, Noonie. How about you get out of the new airlock? Come here. Shoot. There. We'll see if Icknick will come this way now. You want to come? You've got girlfriends. Come on. See, he's skeptical of the new airlock. Come on. He's a skeptic. They're always, it's so interesting to me. Oh dear, that's not what I wanted because I didn't secure it yet. All right. Yeah, you're going to try too, aren't you? So that's the next step, is securing that there. Sunny's for sure going to poke her nose through, but what I really want is everyone to go the other way. So let's see. All right, temporary complication. Oh, I'm getting warm. Hi, Icknick. You want to come this way now? You want to see your girlfriend. Come on. Come on, let's go see our girlfriends. Come on, Icknick. Come on. Well, he's playing with his little brother. All right, the next. Oh, dear. Now I got everybody running around the rear habitat. So this is play. Mooney didn't go through, did she? Not yet. Where's Mooney? Mooney! Oh, Mooney's right there. Well, she's the one I really don't want to be over here right now anyway, so I'm all right with that for a second. But ideally, you guys get to see some play action here. They love each other. You just see they're just so family-oriented, right? Everyone's happy, playing. They like this big habitat, obviously. Whew. Poor Mooney. You want to go see Mooney? Come on, let's go see Mooney. Here. How about we start moving everybody in this direction? Come on. Icknick, go see Mooney. Oh, now it's all of them here. All right, maybe I can entice now with some food. That's what we're going to try here. Just to get these guys accustomed to this new airlock. Who wants a treat? Ooh, num num. All right, so the new plan is to get a bag of liver treats, and we're gonna hi, you gotta wait. My Malamute is in the house because Mooney will eat her at the moment. All right, so liver treats. If I bring the whole bag, I lose the whole bag. So we're just going to get a nice, hey, oh, you want one? Be pretty. Be pretty. You've been shredding stuff all over the place, haven't you? Okay. All right. As big a handful of freeze-dried liver as I can get. Now we're going to see if we get lucky. You'll notice I have a little baby gate right here. That's so that Nepenthe, the Malamute puppy, doesn't... Oh, here we go. Got a few people. Hi, Sonny. Who wants a treat? Woo-num-num. Woo-num-num. Picnic. All right, well, now I got a good chunk of my people. And here's... Come on. Icknick's my nicest animal. We call him proper gentleman. That's his sit command. So we're going to do a little different roll with him. We're going to roll through the house. Come on. Come here. Can I see a proper gentleman? That's a proper gentleman. He's such a good boy. All right. So, just to be the most careful possible, now we got to bring Nepenthe. So we have a secured kennel here to keep puppies or bad weather, everybody. Like, hey, come on, Nepenthe, you come out. Icknick, Icknick, come this way. We're going to roll Icknick through the house. That's always fun. Icknick, come on. All right. Icknick, we'll give you the heavy artillery. Oh, these are your favorite. Come here. What's this? Come on. Come on. All right. Now that is how you do it the force-free way. Right, so now I have all my animals where I need them. Oh, Mooney's so quick. Mooney just stole Icknick's other chicken treat. All right, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 5. I got all 5 on the side I need them on, which means now I can attack the fence post project safely. And that's the next, right? When you're doing my work, you triage in order of critical importance. And so critically important is security of the habitat. And so an exterior post is way more important than this separation, which since today is the first day that Mooney was spotting, I've got several weeks actually, but we'll be way ahead of that. This will all be completed in the next 2 or 3 days. Oh, people stop. How's it going?
Going great. How about you?
Oh, we're hanging in there. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Is he here right now? You guys in the car? Sure. Yeah, you can just pop it over here for a sec. So a big part of what we do, obviously, is education. And so when we have people that are curious, I will always pause for a second unless it's an emergency and give people a quick little education. So you guys get to watch along while I do a quick little talk here. Hi. I'm live streaming right now because I'm doing a bunch of repair work and people are always curious about the repair work. So
My cousin just lives around the corner. We walked by one day when you had the puppies, and I
Oh.
was telling my son how cute they were.
and now look at the size of them, right?
Oh
You
my
can't.
goodness, they've grown up. Oh my goodness.
I know, right? It's
Yeah.
crazy. So
Yeah, that was the summer. That's amazing.
how's it going? Yeah. So this that was this summer.
Yes, it was
So-
this summer. Probably
so-
July.
So we had our Malamute puppy Nepenthe, who's in the house right now, and then this guy. It's unbelievable how big he is. Nunaryak is 8 months old, and he's just massive.
He is.
My rescue
Aw.
here. He's so great, though. And so, yeah, the animals you're looking at right now. This is our matriarch, a Kutak. She's 13 and a half. She's the boss. In wolf family dynamics, the female is the most important animal, and she runs the show. Everyone is a little afraid of her. Yeah, she's got the iron paw. We call her Princess Bitchy Pants. She's spicy, right? And then we've got the one with the white face and the black is Icknick. He's our mature male. He's about 150 pounds, a little bit timid. His girlfriend, Mooney. The names are actually
that coloring. That's
right. So what happens is Icknick was just that black, and they phase out. They go gray. So I tell my wife I'm phasing out. She's like, "You're getting so gray." I'm like, "I'm phasing out. Leave me alone."
We can use that now.
Yeah. So yeah, him and Mooney they love each other. They're unintended, but we're not having pups this year. That's actually what I'm doing right now is prepping for preventing breeding. So I'm adding some extra separations. And then where's Sunny? Sunny, she was just here. Where did she go? Oh yeah. She goes right over the gate like it's nothing. Sunny, we call her Monkey Paw. She can climb anything, open anything. She's my mischievous one. Yeah.
Very cool.
And so our nonprofit does education, advocacy, science. I'm a living science project. I've 40 years living in my own habitat, understanding the social dynamics in a way very few people have ever been able to do. It's complicated getting the groceries to the front door. I've lost more than a few $100s worth of steaks. Almost lost a roast just now. My wife was like, "You can make it." I'm like, "Okay, this guy will take me down like a weak elk."
We live over at State Line off of Kingsbury, and last night we were heading into town. We saw one that looked pretty similar across the road.
He has very coyote coloring. He does. But yeah, there's no free living wolves up here because there's not enough big food.
Okay, so they're coyotes.
Yeah, they're coyotes.
Okay.
Yep. For wolves.
Scrawnier,
Yeah. I mean, he's 110 pounds already. He'll be 150 at least. To persist in an area, wolves need hundreds or thousands of deer, elk, moose, bison, caribou, anything big with hooves. So up here where there's none of that, they might pass through looking for a better place to live, but they won't stay.
Okay.
So we will never see a sustained population unless the game dynamics really change.
How big of meals do you have to give them?
So their average, it varies a lot. Like he gets about 30% more than everybody else because he's a growing puppy. So their average meal, we make these logs. Actually, if you go to my YouTube channel, Oliver the Wolf Guy, people love watching us make food.
Okay.
Yeah, so we live stream making the food. And so we make these logs that are mostly grass-fed beef with other nutrients mixed in. And we roll them up like a burrito in a bag and we freeze them. And then we soften them just a little bit. So it's like really hard ice cream is how we feed. And we just hand them the logs. For him, I'm still hand feeding him. When we first have these animals, we hand feed almost everything for years so that they really associate all good stuff comes from our hands. It reduces our risk of problems. And because we rescued him a little bit later than we ordinarily get our animals, we'll do that as long as we can, years. Feeding him is, I call it my personal demon. He's so strong and such a voracious eater. He rips stuff right out of my hands.
Hungry.
It's crazy.
I remember my young teen like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he can eat if it's not frozen like a rock. He can eat 3 pounds in 45 seconds. It's just insane. And then we also feed them, see those freezers in the cages there. Though we have permits to collect roadkill. And so when somebody sees a deer that got hit on Kingsbury and they call us, we're like, that's like a 5-alarm fire. We're like, that's like $500 on the street. We go running, get it.
Okay.
And they really like that. And that's also really good enrichment for them to be able to break apart a carcass, and stimulates it. And it's also very healthy for their teeth and their intestines to consume the hair and the hide.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you guys dog people?
Yeah.
In the car.
Do you?
Curly thing in there, lady.
So I'll tell you because you got to plug your work. I just finished a book called The Wolf Lover's Guide to Raising Dogs. It's currently the #1 new release on Amazon in dog training in a bunch of categories.
Okay.
It's only available digitally right now, but that's changing in days. The paperback and the hardcover are in the review process. And it's not about dog training. It's really about understanding the basis for the behaviors and giving your dog a better life by being able to understand better what's going on. And so we talk about habitat design and diet and enrichment and reactivity.
Sounds interesting. Okay, I'll have to check it out.
Inspired by 40 years of understanding I call these guys raw dogs. These are the dogs nature made. And so by understanding them, I have a great insight into regular domestic dogs.
So they attack people other than you?
No, they're very timid to unfamiliar people. In fact, the fact that they're all kind of hanging out sort of says you guys are nice dog people. Because if they get the wrong energy, they'll just, like even Icknick here, who's my most shy, is still pretty close. But if it's people he's not comfortable, he'll be pacing the back, and if the gate is open, he'll be up the hill and gone. We actually have a lot of land here. I'm just getting ready to replace a fence post. So oh, there you go.
Gee, Greg.
Yeah, that's Noonie and Sunny. Those are my two most sociable animals. And yeah, they're very curious. So if you're in here and you got something loose in your pocket, Sunny will steal it.
I was just saying, do you have any food on you there, Matthew? Be careful.
Yeah, it's funny. They have way better manners with unfamiliar people than with me, right? They think nothing of taking a chunk out of my hand to get a treat. I would just extend your hand a little bit and be underneath. And if you sort of, open your fingers a little bit, you might be able to get like a little stroke on his cheek or whatever. He likes you.
I like you too.
Yeah, he's really something. Ordinarily, when you rescue an animal, they're traumatized. And this animal has been the most fearless, sociable, interesting. He's really great. There's the flip side of that is the most confident animals are the ones that end up chewing you up if they get mad because they're not afraid.
Yeah.
So we're really mindful of that with him because of his size and sort of his wild nature. But he's been a wonderful, wonderful animal. And super photogenic.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Oh, it's my pleasure to.
Follow you on YouTube.
Please do, yeah.
Oliver the Wolf Guy?
Oliver the Wolf Guy. Yep.
Thank you so much.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Have a happy New Year. Hey guys, how's it going?
Love looking for them every time we drive by.
Oh, thank you. Do you know? Have I talked to you guys before about them?
One of our friends with their kids, I think it was 2 weeks ago.
Oh, really? Right on. I meet a lot of people, and for whatever reason, I'm better at recognizing animals. Thank you so much. Have a happy holiday. So that's the work, right? Is really being super enthusiastic about educating and sharing. And that if you've got these animals and you're not willing to do that and be super knowledgeable about the dynamics and the behavior and the natural history, then you're not doing anyone any favors. They're terrible pets. They're a lifestyle, not a pet. It requires complete commitment. My wife and I have been married 23 years and we've never been on an airplane together because one of us has to be here all the time. And so if you're not willing and able to do what I just did anytime it has an opportunity, then it's an ego trip and you should probably not do it, right? Like, if you want ghosts from Game of Thrones, get yourself a Samoyed or an Alaskan Malamute or an Akita or, and then do the work to have that be a wonderful companion dog, because these guys are what they are. And my whole mission in my life is to foster greater tolerance, greater understanding, so that these animals are allowed to recover through a greater percentage of their former range, where they can exert their important role on ecosystems, cleansing ecosystems of disease and infirm and strengthening herds. And the best way that I found to do that is through education and advocacy. And people, see, Icknick just loves me so much. He wants a butt scratch. People don't love what they don't, they don't protect what they don't love, and they don't love what they don't see. And so having animals that are accessible to people, not everybody can get out to Yellowstone. Even if you do, you might not get to see wolves. And honestly, the amount of people going to Yellowstone has made those wolves vulnerable to being shot by hunters when they step out of the park, because it's legal to hunt wolves right on the other side of an invisible imaginary line. And wolves that are so used to being watched all the time are vulnerable because they're not wary to being hunted. So, all right, now let's see here. More steps, always more steps. I hope they're nice to me while I do this. This is the brutal part. These bags of concrete are no fun. I go in my crawl space here, and of course, just like everything else, I gotta take steps, because Sunny here will come in the crawl space and then she'll start stealing stuff out of it. So here's my quick crate. kind of dark down here. This is all my supply room for every extra anything. Okay. So many steps. Don't bite the quickcrete. Don't bite the quickcrete. They'll just make a hole in the bag and I'll be trailing quickcrete hole. Don't do it. Hey, I'm gonna grab. Don't do it. Oh, he's so naughty. Trying to close the gate. Hold this with one hand. Not get it chewed. Okay. All right. Haul my bag of quickcrete up the hill. We got to do one more bag after this one. People are like, do you ever go to the gym? I'm like, no, dude. My life is the gym. I call it caveman fitness or mountain man fitness. You got to be able to do this kind of crap over and over. It would definitely be easier if I wasn't nursing this little injury. So I'm just going to stream until my phone crooks. I don't know how long that'll be. I suppose I could get a battery pack and put it in my pocket, but I might not do that. Okay. All right. There's one. Oh, so fun. Okie dokie. Now we'll do the tools and then well, I'm walking down the hill here. Let's see. I haven't checked for cops in a minute. So thanks for bearing with me on that. I had the phone on a chesty. So the bear birthing video, I don't have that. It's not my video. But if you check out the Bear League, their website is saveourbears.org. And it may be there. Oh, thank you very much. And by the way, guys, obviously it's very expensive doing what we do. Just feeding costs alone is about $15 an animal a day, and that doesn't include the labor that goes into making hundreds of pounds of food at a time, which me and my wife do ourselves. So if you're so inclined and you want to help me out, we would appreciate support. You can be a paying subscriber here and you get access to a lot of my stuff before anybody else. And at the higher subscriber levels, you'll even get custom pictures of my animals sent to you on request. And also, at the very highest levels, I'll give you excerpts of all of the stuff that I'm writing and publishing before anybody else sees it, before it's even in print. And then, of course, if you want to give me a like, a super, and a little extra love here, that helps. You can also, there's a link here for PayPal if you want to donate directly to the nonprofit. It's a 501c3. We're on the PayPal Giving Fund. And then, if you want to know how to do the best by your canine companions, my book, The Wolf Lover's Guide to Raising Dogs, is available on Amazon. And if you like it, it's digital only for another few days. And then the printed version will be available in paperback and hard copy. And we're like depending on production and shipping time, we're about maybe like 2 weeks out from having a large format, special limited edition coffee table version that will be bought directly from me, and those are going to be hand numbered and inscribed to the individual buyers. How's it going? Yeah, they are. No, they're not half. Yeah.
Last night I was like walking here and they start seeing me rolling and they start like holding at me like.
They were I was out probably with another animal, and they howl when I go out, but they're not dangerous. No, not dangerous. Afraid of unfamiliar people mostly. Yeah. Thank you very much. Actually, no, it'll be, Callie, it'll be available on about 50 different platforms in the coming weeks. Barnes & Noble, Ingram Spark, books.buy, like anywhere you could think of, it'll be out there. It's just, we wanted to try to get something out by Christmas, and the fastest was the Kindle edition and the EPUB. And then all the other stuff is in the review queue. The book has like 95 pages of full color pictures illustrating my life with the animals. And it's getting really good reviews, actually. It's really taken off. I'm just putting this back on my chesty here. I've been super happy. I was shocked to see how well it's doing. It's the #1 new release in dogs, in animal behavior, dogs and wolves, animal cognition. It's up at the top of the general charts, actually. And if you download it and give me a 5-star review, that is amazing. That's really all the proceeds from the book are going into the nonprofit to help us scale it. And our big goal, I'll sort of put this out into the world. I've been kind of keeping it under wraps, but there's a golf course up here that needs to be rewilded. And we've been working with the county to get the permits to put a wolf science and education museum. That would be 52 acres, 25 acres of habitats, a 12,500 square foot viewing auditorium where you can sit in stadium style seating, looking at a wall of glass on the habitat with cameras so you can really see the behavior of these animals in a giant natural environment, with changing exhibits that will teach people about wolves. And if the thing gets going, which I'm confident it's going to, it will generate enough revenue that we'll be able to use the extra money beyond what it costs to run the facility to buy large tracts of land and keep them wild forever, just to set them out of reach of development and extraction. And, by the end of my life, I hope that we have tens of thousands of acres in critical areas of habitat set aside for the preservation of nature as a contribution to our effort to be, 30 by 30, which means 30% of the planet preserved forever. And that's my life goal. So if you want to support my life goal, supporting the Tahoe Wolf Center will propel us forward into the large-sized Tahoe Wolf Center. And with that, we can do massively more good. All right, now time to get a couple more tools here. So now I need my mental checklist for fence repair. Includes, let's see here. All right. Got the drill. Just scaling out of some of the tools here. Here's what I'm doing. You can see what I'm into right here. All right. Bits. Drill. Long screws with a hot wire. I don't know if you guys saw my video from the other day where I'm like, wolf haircut. Okay, so this is what a wolf haircut looks like. See this toolkit here? Noonie did this right here, just crushed it in like 2 seconds. Literally, I'm like, what? And then it's wrecked. All right, so I really want to carry the whole thing. extension, the adapter. The other extension. Oh, my poor Nepente is having a sad moment. Nepente, come over here. Where's my half inch? Well, my wife is home. Okay. Those are the tools I need from there. I am right here when you open the door. Yeah, just don't slam it. I'm working and live streaming.
But the reason I call you twice is that because everything you're all out, and I probably want to buy you a beer, but I don't know how many beer you have.
I'm fine.
Okay, good. I mean, this is not organic, but I bought it anyway.
Yeah, I know.
Small
I saw.
cucumber.
Oh, okay.
What you saw?
The cream.
No, it's cucumber.
Yeah, that was okay. All right. I'm fixed to the fence post. I don't know what's where. Nepente might have moved it. All right. So who are those of you who are on here? You're getting a full-on first-person experience of what it's like to be me on a daily basis. Oh, what else did I need? See? There's always... I got distracted. I need... Oh, I already used that one. Okay, so I don't need that. So let me just think through so I don't have to make multiple trips. I need tools. I need some tools. So... Nope, you're not right now. Yeah, I'm here. I put it in the freezer. There was only one. I put it in the freezer. I don't know what you're talking about anymore. Oh, I forgot. No, I did not. You can take it out. Right, so you'll notice here that my tool shed is a kennel. We have to keep everything like this or they'll destroy it. And the minute you're not paying attention, they'll eat the handle off your shovel. And for them, splintering a fiberglass or hickory handle ain't no thing. So all of our equipment has to live like this. All right, so we'll march this up the hill. Yes, they dig huge holes. The ground is just starting to freeze. I think I'm enough ahead of it. It won't be too much of a nightmare, but I'll make it work no matter what. There just might be some cursing involved. There might be some cursing involved with this too. If I'm not lucky, I'm going to pass my bag through the hot wire here. Hopefully I don't get zinged. If you hear me zing, you'll know what zing is like here. So hot wire, by the way, is very low amperage, very high voltage, which means it hurts but doesn't kill you. And if you ever peed on one of these things, you won't do it twice. All right. So what I'm trying to do is just pass it through. Oh, success. Nice. All right. We are making good progress. Well, I've only got one more unenviable task I gotta handle, which is huffing the last bag of the fence post mix up. But I can do that directly through and take the shortcut now, so I don't have to deal with walking all the way around. Although maybe I won't do it that way, because whenever you take a shortcut, it ends up being a long cut. And if I open this and they get back there, then I got to get them back out of here. So what I'm probably going to do is see if my wife is going to give me a hand here, and just deterring them enough that I don't have to fend them off with one hand while holding the bag. Nope, you're not. So naughty. You guys are so naughty. I'm gonna start getting you used to this here. Boop. Here. The new airlock. Gotta flip that over after. I still have to flip that over. Right now, it's just getting them acclimated to that being there. Okay. Let's see if my wife will give me a quick hand here. My wife, Tanya. Hey, can you give me a hand for a sec? I just need you to defend. I got to carry a bag of concrete, and I'd rather they not tear it open. Could you just come and keep them away from me so I get it through the gate? I'm out front here. Just come out and just keep them away from me for 1 sec. Thank you. Okay. See, it's like defensive, right? You got to be a team, right? They're a team, right? They're a team. That's how they work. That's how they take down large prey, is they're a team. And so if you're the object that is currently the prey, then you got to be the team.
How many do we have here?
All of them right now, because I got to replace that fence post up there.
The whole thing?
Well, except for Nepente, yeah.
I need you a moment later, or I need to pay a lawyer. But I have to pay you too from the restaurant. Okay, we can talk how much we owe that.
Babe, we'll talk about it later. Let me just finish my chores.
But I have to pay him by the
Okay.
Okay. Hey, we love by the most. Oh, you love
All right, so you got to keep Noonie off me and help me get through the gate.
Oh, I'm goalie.
Goalie.
I'm goalie.
She's the goalie. Okay. Where was I? Hauling concrete. Okay. Must be able to lift and carry 50 pounds in the backcountry. No disrespect to rucking, but hauling concrete is worse. Because it's uneven. I'll take 50 pounds in my Mystery Ranch pack any day over a bag of concrete on the shoulder. If you drop it, you break it. So, all right. Hey, folks, let me take a quick breath catch. Flip around here for 1 sec. Ooh, I'm covered in dust. What's up, everybody? It's Oliver the Wolf Guy. Just taking a little breather from hauling the concrete. So, for those of you that just maybe joined in, We're the Tahoe Wolf Center. We're a 501c3 that encourages the recovery of wolves through education, advocacy, and principally working with ambassador animals so that people who are curious can learn the truth about the species. And today I'm just live streaming while I do some essential work here. So this is our habitat fence line here, and I routinely walk the fence line and test the posts. And so this post here, no bueno. So we have a zero tolerance policy for any perceived weakness in the habitat. And so what I've been doing, among other things, is moving the equipment around so that I can replace the posts, which I'm about to start doing now. And just thought you guys would find it interesting to just check out how it works here, what I do, how we maintain our habitat, care for our animals, just give you guys a little insight into the daily life of a wolf wrangler. And while I'm prepping to do this here, I'll just say, if you want to support our work, you can give us a little love here. You can buy my book, The Wolf Lover's Guide to Raising Dogs, on Amazon. All the proceeds go to support the Wolf Center. And you can subscribe to my channel as a premium subscriber, and you'll get some real special stuff, including, like, you can tell me which animals you want pictures of, and I'll email you super high res close-ups that you can put on your wall, various things like that. And then for the top tier of my premium subscribers, you guys will also get to see all of my stuff that I'm writing, both fiction and nonfiction, excerpted chapter by chapter before it's published. All right, so I'm going to flip this around, put this back here on my little chest mount. This is kind of cool. I just bought this little thing here so I could live stream hands-free, and I'm really happy with it so far. It's got a little 5-star review if it doesn't break. So far, so good. All right, so now, here's where we're at. Step one is we disconnect the panels from the actual post. And first I'm going to have a look here and see how frozen the ground is, how hard this is going to be for me. Oh, not bad. All right. I'm stoked. It's not that bad. That's going to be a little bouncy for you guys. Sorry about that. If you're going to be a voyeur on my life, you get to deal with my... Clear some of this brush. So these posts have been in here a decade, and most of them are great, but every little bit we might just encounter one that the pressure treating is a little shabby. Cleared a little footer here. And then we use 100 pounds of mix for every post. So we're talking about we got about 20,000 pounds of mix in the ground that I've hauled building these fences. Oh, I just remembered. I do have one other tool I have to go grab. That's my sledge to break the concrete if I have to. I'm sure I will. You always have to. It's never as easy as pulling the post out of the ground with the concrete still there. It's always the hard job. Okay, so next is okay, I could have sworn I put that in there. Maybe I didn't. Did I put it in my pocket? Okay. All right. So here we go. A couple of steps here. It's easier to do this first part from inside the fence, but I didn't, so we're gonna make an exception and just do it from the outside. Now, hopefully my memory is good enough. These are 1/2 inches. They sure are beautiful. Okay. So, ornamental iron. I like these panels because they're really strong, but they're actually really easy to work with. This extension ain't cutting it. I'm gonna go to the shorty. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. It's up here above my head a little bit. Here's these big long wood screws that set in there. So yeah, there's a lot of maintenance that goes into a proper habitat so that you don't have people getting loose. And so I walk this perimeter twice a day. First thing in the morning, first thing at night, and I look for anything that concerns me. And actually in all that time, this is only the 3rd post I'm having, or the 4th. I had a gate post I had to replace. But really, it's remarkably resilient. And we, a few years ago, had 700 inches of snow, and this thing did great. If it had been chain link, it would have been done, because chain link holds snow and ornamental iron does not. And so, all right, now we do the bottom ones. Pop this forward. Okay, so we're about to pop the bottom one forward here. People ask me sometimes why I'm wearing all this hunting style gear. It's because it's the most durable stuff for what I do every day. Like, I love that it has knee pads built into it because I'm always on my knees. I'm always working in cold and wet, and it's really, the fabric is really durable for like being scratched. Like, I have stuff just gets ruined. So it's not that I have a paramilitary mindset. It's just that I found that the other thing is that the pattern tends to not show as much dirt or stains or blood when I'm butchering a deer or whatever. All the stuff I get to do. And yeah, butchering a roadkill deer is not a fun task, but it's really important enrichment for my animals, and so I do that too. I've live streamed a few of those. All right, final screw. And then I'll be able to lean the post over and release the hot wire. What do we ever do before we had ratchets, huh? Made a lot more turns. about out of there. Not quite. There. Okay. So, ratchet back in my pocket. And it's a very important rule when you've got tools or screws in a pocket to close the pocket, because then you don't have to go looking for the tools and the screws that fell out of the pocket. All right. So, next is this little guy here. I think you're the one I need. All right. And of course, I'm doing this on the wrong side of the fence, so we'll see if I manage to get myself zinged with the hot wire. It doesn't usually go through leather or fabric, but if I tag bare skin, then you'll hear it. You'll hear about it when I curse. Okay. You are free. Now, all right, there we go. Okay, so now I'm going to bust the post out. There, okay, yep. And sure enough, rod it off at the base. Okay, so that's where we're at now, is we've got the post out. And let's just relieve the stress around the concrete here. If you make too big a hole, then you don't get to secure a hold on it later when you go to pour new concrete. So I try to be a little judicious in what I'm taking out. And I'm working only on one side because I have a ground wire that's secured on the other side, and it's a lot more work if I have to go and disrupt it. So I'm trying to just break this out from the outside here. So oh, that was brilliant. I just threw a shovel full of dirt into my tools. Mistakes were made. Oop. To clean that up later. Okay. So now we're going to go get a sledge and a pry bar. Time for a sledge and a pry bar and scooch through the hole in the fence. While I'm doing this here, if you guys have any quick little questions, I'll peep the comments real fast. So if you're curious, I can maybe try to answer something. And for those of you who haven't tuned into the channel before, this is Oliver the Wolf Guy. I'm the founder and executive director of the Tahoe Wolf Center. We're a small 501c3 that does education and advocacy to help encourage the recovery of wolves and the protection of wolves and other predators on the landscape. And the way that we do our work is by teaching people the truth of the species And the truth is that these are super intelligent, really interesting animals that have a place in nature, and we need to endeavor to give them that space so that they can persist and do the job they need to do, which is keeping the landscape healthy. Oh, by the way, see the handle? That's a wolf haircut. That's a wolf haircut. Okay, hauling tools. Hauling tools. I'm hauling tools. I'm always hauling tools. I'm keeping Noonie out. Right, Noonie? Noonie, my naughty, naughty child. Noonie is just a puppy. He's only 8 months old, and he's kind of a pain in the butt. A lovable pain in the butt, but a pain in the butt, because he's not afraid of anything. And that is a challenge. For those of you that are just tuning in, part of the projects today are, this is a secondary airlock because we're getting into breeding season and we need to be able to keep our animals apart when we're like going back and forth from habitats. And so this will be secured right here later, but the fence post takes priority because we're still not in a circumstance where my animals could breed, and we're not allowing that. But every day is a day where somebody could go on a walkabout, and I only want to be in the newspaper for good things. And that means that whenever we have any indication of an imperfection in our security, we deal with it immediately. So you guys are joining me on a fence repair day. And if you love this content and you appreciate the work we do, everything that comes into this channel supports the nonprofit. It's a 501c3. You can look it up. Tahoe Wolf Center, registered in California and federally. And my wife and I do not take a salary of any kind. In fact, the lion's share of the support for the nonprofit comes out of our pocket. Luckily, we have other interests. We have a successful restaurant in Tahoe. My wife is a award-winning Thai chef. And so because of that and my prior work, I'm sort of semi-retired at this point in my life. I was a guy that worked in high tech and also cannabis. I was a CEO of a weed company. But my education is wolf biology, and my passion in my life is animals. And so I'm really happy that now, notwithstanding the backbreaking nature of the work here, I think for just a minute, let's try something here. I'm gonna set you guys up here. All right, I'm gonna just set you guys up, lean in here so you can crash, so you can watch from a slightly different vantage point for just a second. Let me just see if I can't do something good here so you're not getting bounced quite so much. So just bear with me for a second here while I do that. Hold tight. I'm setting up a little viewing station here. Let's see if that'll work. Hang on. We're still working on it. Be patient with me. Nothing's ever easy when you're doing it on the fly. Yes, still struggling. focusing too close. Cooperate. All right. Maybe we'll just try it much closer and see what happens here. All right. I'm just gonna set that there for a sec, guys. This is a legit live stream, right? I'm just doing the work. So right now we're in the busting out the post part of the work. And I was feeling bad when I was throwing the pry bar into the ground. You guys are just bouncing everywhere. Now, give it a couple of smacks with the sledge. This is always the worst part of the job, this and carrying the water in the concrete. Alrighty. And of course, you got to be a little ginger here not to smash your fence. Get it out a piece at a time. Once it starts to break up around the post, it goes pretty easy. Just do it a little at a time. Break it up. Break it out. See the gap on the backside. knocked it down. You guys still there? Yeah. You guys are watching me hard at work here. Yeah. So this is where we're at here. You look in the hole. For those who just tuned in, we're replacing a fence post here at our wolf habitat because I noticed it was rotting. And so this is the job of busting the concrete footer out. So let me